Hey, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What was that? Whew. Whatever that was. Excuse me. Hey, welcome to the NDA Podcast, where the music doesn't want to play because it's late. It's late. It doesn't want to work. What do you want me to do? It's how it goes sometimes, folks. You know, it's how it goes. So, hey, welcome to the NDA Podcast. I'm Rob Duanius. This is me, Sketchcraft. And this is where I work on top secret projects. Top secret projects that I can't stream. Because if I stream them, I'd get fired. So this one's not so top secret. It's just called Spawn Kills Every Spawn. It's a miniseries coming out summer 2024. And I am currently going to be working on that right here. But behind me, folks, as always, I'm going to play some artwork that I did. It's sped up, usually around 4 times, 2 times, 4 times. Kind of depends on which one looks better. But tonight it will be some Batman, some Harley Quinn, some Joker, and Superman. Little one-pagers commissions I did several years ago. I call it Saucy style. It's like a watercolor, drippy, splatty thing. So let's just go ahead and put up Little Rob. Little Rob likes to show up down there. Oh, there I am. There's Little Rob. And let's put up the videos. All right. Got a little synthwave tonight coming to you from Pretzel Rocks. So a little motivational here. And this right here, these were some commissions I did in 9x12, 6x9 area on, what is this? Kansan multimedia paper. And I'll be just free sketching here, you see, with pencil and ink. Kind of have a way different way of working now. A totally different way of working now. And I'll be painting these with watercolor or distress ink or P.H. Martin's watercolor dyes. So it's a combination. Whichever one comes out better. So yeah, you're gonna see me just freehand sketch all this stuff. I'm gonna get to work. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them in the comments or in the chat box while I'm live. If you're watching this in the future, please do leave them in the comments. As always, if you are on YouTube or Facebook, the only way the algos share this stream and share my channel is if you leave a comment. You got to engage. You got to leave a comment. You got to go, I love to comment. That's it. You know, you got to leave a smiley face, leave a thumb up. Right? It's free. It takes like 2 seconds. And it makes a world of difference with the channel, folks. World of difference. That's why I'm streaming every day while I work on this stuff. So we, you go, where'd Rob go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? I'm like, I've been right here. Been right here. But the algos, they won't share you if you don't engage. So that's that. I'm gonna work. If you guys all want to chat, bring up any topics, we could talk about them. Let's get to it. Eli says, hell yeah, a little night dry. Love it. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be working for about another 90 minutes or so. And then I gotta go clean up the kitchen and then get to sleep and get back up around 5:30, 6 o'clock. Eli says, always like the utility belt. A lot of different looking components on it. Just look more utility than tech. Yeah, I'm with you. Probably not practical, but neither is fighting crime. Obviously, I was sort of just drawing like a Miller-like Batman here. These were like leftover commissions I think I took at a convention. Like I took them online, you know? Because it was the last time I went to a con and I just wasn't doing very well financially, so I just took online commissions. Eli says, these proportions are really fantastic. I'm trying to stretch more into stylized looks. I'm gonna struggle. Shape design is my favorite thing, man. If you look at any of my work, I follow shape design. I actually find this shape design to be a little reserved, to be honest. I would push this further, much further now. This is me sort of still playing by comic book rules. I would push this much further. The shape design I'm currently doing on the Spawn book is going to be totally fun. And unlike anything that's been done yet, I think, on those titles, so... if I do say so myself. Eli says, Spawn always felt like one of those characters that really let you go wild with the design. Lots of cool stuff. Yeah. Most definitely. Most definitely. And the particular version I'm doing will have like, got like a little chibi spawn, then I got superhero spawns everywhere, so I've got both worlds. I've got your Calvin and Hobbes and Vader Zim spawn, and then I got superhero-y stuff too. And that's definitely PH Martin. That's how it's PH Martin turquoise. And my favorite thing is trying to work things into like the designs of weapons, whether I can work on skulls or violator horns, you know. Like I did a Lobo piece where I, rather than draw him on his bike, I made his gun a moto bike, so it's got the motorcycle parts built into the gun. The idea that the motorcycle could turn into his gun and vice versa. You know. It's always fun to, you know, maybe even if you don't want to play with the character shapes, you can always play with their accessories. All I'm trying to do is pop shapes with the local color. I'm thinking with like a purpley bat symbol just to try to make it not feel, you know, make it different. Could have gone with black, I think. So my thoughts on the whole Saucy style is that it's like the local color is actually on them, but it's like bleeding off, right? It's not just doing a bunch of drips and splatters for the sake of it. It's trying to take, like you'd put it on, but it ran off the page, you know? So it's tough because sometimes it looks like they're bleeding. This tricky little, especially the more details you put on. Tomorrow I'm going to play some Wolverine, some Old Man Logan, and a Hulk Saucy I did. And, I mean, it looks great on muscles. When you start to get a bunch of stuff on them, it can get tricky. So, kind of took a break for a number of years. Matter of fact, the last real full Saucy I ever did was in 2017. So yeah, it's been a while. One of those things people like or hate. There's no in between. Anytime I start with the drawing, people like, because I'll do like a full drawing, and then when I do the Saucy part, they would always be like, "Are you gonna do like in normal colors? Because I hate that you're like ruining the drawing." You know, like not everyone, but I would get it. You know, like all the time. My thought at the time I did it was just doing a lot of clean digital art, a lot of clean art at work when I was doing t-shirts. And I'm not really good at cross hatching and ink work, so I was like, well, what if I just made it all gritty or dirty with color? And this was a Harley sketch. Sort of the classic Bruce Timm. I just sort of feel these sort of characters kind of work better with other mediums in this look. Go. Nino says, what media do you use for coloring? Well, this is P.H. Martin's watercolor and distressing. But I use color pencils a lot too. I've used Copic plenty of times. I sort of prefer color pencil, and watercolor I like next, but this particular style is going to be pretty drippy and splatty. So I haven't really done any of this stuff since 2017. But I plan on doing some more. I just don't know how wild I'll make it. So. Thanks, Dina. Okay, that's fire brick red. That's a distress ink. Like I just did a scud piece that was color pencil, but then I did the background on distress ink. I do like that look. Ina says, struggle doing the highlights in watercolor. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people like Dustin Wynn and them will use, what do they call that? You know, the gum that you paint down to block that stuff out. I don't like using it. So. What tips do you have on doing highlights? What I would recommend doing, honestly, is do a version digitally for yourself and then use it as a guide that you could sort of follow and start with the middle colors and then go dark. And then if you need to add any particular bits on top, you can use white ink. But if you work out the highlights, you know, separately, and then you can kind of look at it, you'll eventually, you know, do it shorthand. But really, the idea is that the topmost part, the part that's closest to you would be in highlight, and the part that's furthest away would be dark. That's basically the idea. Here, I'm doing a bit of that, but mostly just to pop shapes, you know. It's a little bit more textural than any kind of like realistic lighting scheme. With this type of watercolor style, I call it Saucy. It's more for texture, you know, than actually doing like a watercolor piece. Oh, you're welcome, Dina. You're welcome. If you ever get stuck in the middle of a piece, you always take a break, take a snap, and then digitally like go over it and kind of like sketch in where you think you want something. You know, like just take a cameras and then go over it and kind of like try out a few things and then figure out a way you want to go and then go back, you know, to the traditional. So you can always use the digital as a, you know, as an editing tool or a tool to like help you make decisions, you know. Which media do I prefer to use? Everything. Right now I'm working digitally. I'm drawing a comic. Spawn kills every spawn digitally. But I will eventually, like I print out the pages for my own and ink them traditionally, so I still have the artwork when I'm done, you know, so I can do the job of like 3 people digitally. But traditionally, my favorite's probably color pencil, and then watercolor, and soft pastel. I like Copic markers probably the least. I can use them pretty well, it's just they don't have any depth, for my opinion. You can use them and then do color pencil over, you know, or paint over. I've seen people do that. But for my money, it's like, you know, there's a warmness, you know, to color pencil. It just takes more time, you know. It takes more time. Especially because, like, I'm not, like, recreating photos, you know. I'm creating imaginary stuff. But I like watercolor. I have fun. When I'm painting watercolors, I'm having fun. No doubt. So I just need to find a look that I'm... I mean, I like the Saucy look, but it just only works with characters standing still or big bulky characters, so it's tricky. And then people always go, "Will you do it with this character?" And I'm like, it doesn't work well with that character. And I like details, even though I draw like cartoony. I put in lots of details, so like it's really difficult to paint texture with lots of details. But color pencil, no problem. And I've been working on something else, like it's called scribbly style, where I use like a lot of scribblies. I did a few like practices, like a Cyclops a couple weeks ago. It's on my Instagram. That came out interesting. That's a different look. That might pair well with this Saucy look, honestly, if I can somehow mix the two. But there's definitely something new with the scribblies. I want to practice more with when I got some free time. I went with a green background because, you know, the Joker. That I remember. I think that's distressing, right? Joker squiggles. I would just say like the watercolor stuff to me is not as intuitive. I have to do a lot of prep. Like I have to do a practice fit and with color pencil, I need no prep. I can just do whatever I want. I think if I could somehow marry like a watercolor background with the color pencil, you know, you just can't do watercolor. You can't do color pencil over watercolor unless you spray it with like clear gesso or something. But even then, it comes out pretty grainy. I don't know how to describe it. And now I did do a test, and I have it, where I took some Wolverine Saucies I did, and I did a version where I did the inks more like a Mignola drawing, and that came out better because it had a real strong black contrast with all that stuff. But I don't know. I want to play with it more, but I don't know. Just a matter of like time. Time. I'm gonna figure it out. Will I figure it out before I turn 50 is the question. And we're getting there. It's we're getting there. I really like Mignola's work on X-Force and that big X-Force pinup he did back in the day and his Batman stuff. Like that earlier 90s, 91, 93 stuff. And I think what I do kind of fits similar to that when you start to blot in big, stark shadows and stuff. Have a blessed day. All right, man. Thanks for hanging out, Dino. Appreciate it. This was me probably just walking away from it for a bit until I liked it or not. I think the next one will be a Joker head. I did this Joker head and I get really weird gums, so bear with me. And we're going, what if I did all gums and little teeth versus lots of teeth and no gum? It came out a little weird. It's by 9. On a 9 by 12. Then you just see? This is how you don't draw off the page. I don't really draw with pencil anymore. To be honest, I never really enjoyed it. But I had all this lead lying around, I didn't want to waste it. But if I'm gonna draw with lead, I'll use a lead holder. Yo, what's up, Mario? That old Joker sketch from a few years back. 2015 or 16, around there. Probably 16. I think it's 16. These were commissions I took at a con. I had to bring home and do. Ship them out. Well, I didn't take them out. I put the call out while I was at a con, but they were all for online. They weren't like I missed my time at the con. Artist says, good, little tired. Had a birthday the other day and jury duty coming up. Want to sleep. Yeah. Do not sleep in jury duty. Does not go well. And I'm inking with this burnt sienna ink. Reiner Kloner? German. Just diluted with a little bit of water and it flows pretty well. When I use a nib, that's generally what I ink with. If you can call this inking, I'm drawing it with ink. So watch, here's the big gums. See? I did big gums Joker. The big gums. The tiny teeth. Evil Disney Joker. No black. I was like, I'm privy to more of like the animated series and the Dark Knight Returns. I like the animated series and New Adventures. Love the New Adventures. I just felt like he needed lips, you know? Even though I don't think I'll really give him much. I'll paint him on. I think the best he looked was the Joker in the flashback scene in Return of the Joker. Probably should have pulled that out before I started drawing. The black eyeshadows from the animated later season. Yeah. The new. Well, he didn't have black eyeshadow. He has skull face. They made him a monster. I think that's where like people. Did I start over? Oh, I started over and just did the face. I bet you that's what I did. Because I remember just doing a big face. So I probably threw that sketch away and started all over and did a face. Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's like the Tim Burton stuff. They're not real people. They're monsters. They're monster movies. I think people kind of forget that. And the animated series is somewhere between real criminals and monsters. It's like in between. I don't think they were going for eyeshadow there. I think they were just going for a straight skull. I mean, I just remember that because when I was at Comic-Con in '96, that's how it was described to me at the panel by whoever was leading that panel. He was like a skull. The eyeshadow thing I didn't see pop up until like what do you call it? A realistic dude. It was before The Dark Knight came out. I forget his name. Good point. Maybe the monster skull thing is what you like. Love Tim Burton. Yeah. So they did that version, but in the flashback sequence in Return of the Joker, they gave him lips. Like they did a really good job refining that look. Yeah, see, I blew up the headshot here. Let me tell you what I would have done in this case. I would have took that sketch, scanned it in digitally, use it as a guide and redrawn it, you know? I gotta be honest, folks, like, maybe you guys can't see it, but I know for a fact that my penciling abilities have come quite the long ways in 2016. Yeah, see, watch, I go for big Disney nose. Check out this nose, man. Big nose. Like 101 Dalmatians. Mario says, I remember watching some documentary or something for the Return of the Joker. They were talking about how to do Joker during the flashbacks and see two distinct styles. In the animated series decided to do a combined look, which yes, does look amazing, but sadly, it's just that film. It's sad. Now, someone on the internet, if you look on YouTube, did a recolor of the New Adventures stuff. Like they redrew it, and they made the eyes yellow with red, like the way he is in TAS. That was a good look too. Like they've done a few tests of that. And those big expressive eyes with that color scheme actually works really well too. Yeah, I think the documentary was on the DVD, right? With that great Kenny Wayne Shepherd theme song. Big Kenny Wayne Shepherd thing. Yeah, I went total evil Disney face on this one. It's like, how far do you stick his chin out when he's got a giant nose? Should have gone with very smaller. I would have gone with a much smaller chin. Mario says, you'll have to look it up. Don't normally like fan recolor stuff. But this was good. I'm with you, but this was executed really well. Yeah, see, I'm drawing with ink. I wouldn't call this inking. Mario asked me, did I ever see The Batman, the cartoon from 2007? Long nose and chin kind of remind me of this. Batman cartoon from 2007? You mean the Jeff Matsuda stuff from 2003? Where he had like Rasta hair and stuff. I guess kinda. Not that long though. Now you're talking about the Jeff Matsuda cartoon. It's 2003. Yeah, I followed all that stuff, man. That's where he had the big, like, lunatic, like the straight jacket, right? Those are fun designs. I still like Joker and, you know, sort of that Old West kind of like Undertaker's outfit, you know? Yeah, it's 2003. Yeah, I'm a huge Jeff Matsuda fan. I was following all that stuff. I really like the promo pieces he did for that cartoon that Dave McCaig colored. I tried to get, like, I was like, hey, Rob, when they were asking me for colors in the book, I was like, well, you think Dave McCaig? And he's like, no, you're not famous enough. That's a shame. But Robert Nugent's doing the colors, man. He's doing a phenomenal job, so no complaints there. Didn't really like the theme song to that cartoon, though. But I liked a lot of the designs. Yeah, I was in art college when that came out. A huge fan. I didn't like that Dracula movie they did there, the directed DVD. I thought that was a complete waste. Should have done a more meaningful storyline. Mario says he recalls really liking a lot of that show's versions of characters, Clayface and Riddler. Yeah, I wasn't as keen on the Joker. If he was like, if he had that look when he was like in Arkham or escaping Arkham, and then he went to a different look, I'd be fine with that. But that being the look, I don't know. I wasn't. That's probably my only really gripe. The Catwoman looked great too. The goggles and all that stuff, you know. The Cameron Stewart look or whatever. And the Mr. Freeze looked pretty badass, dude. Penguin looked great. Yeah, I mean, those designs were really good. The color design on Gotham City was a little all over the place, though. Look at that, red gums. Put all the red in his gums versus the lips. It's something. Yeah, I was trying to get that. You know that dude from Poltergeist 2? Could do a 70s style Joker and have him give him those lamb chops. Green lamb chops, dude. People will be like, what are you doing? That's what I do love about those watercolor backgrounds. They can just add so much character with doing so little. We don't get in the way of it, you know? And then the next one's a Superman. Probably the least a fan of this one. Mostly the drawing. I don't think I did the drawing very well. But I draw totally different now. This was when I was having this, like, I'm not going far enough. Like, I kind of got too reserved with my shapes. This isn't moving. I don't like it. But you'll see. Yeah, it's very stiff. You know, says, do I sketch with ink? Yeah, I always sketch with red. Now these days with a red pencil and then with like a Sharpie or something, or a red Sharpie, and then like an ink or something. Yeah, I don't. It taught me, like, when I was drawing with pencil. I just started pressing too hard and I got real bad carpal tunnel. So I just kind of had to eliminate all that. You know, working digitally, like I started inking my art and working digitally around 2008. So like it really helped me loosen up my lines, but I do prefer to sketch in ink and stuff, yeah. I just don't like the feel of graph. I don't know what it is. It's mental. It's mental. I had a friend tell me one that, you know, I'm just kind of nuts, and there might be something to that, you know. I think my favorite Superman artist is probably, I like Mignola's stuff, you know, on Odyssey. Obviously, Frank Miller's Superman in The Dark Knight Returns. And I like Carlos Maglia. Carlos Maglia basically just did Bruce Timm's Superman, but he did it better. And then Bruce Timm. I would not draw Superman. Mine would be closer to like a Maglia these days, but it definitely had my own twist here and there. Give him like Popeye forearms. He says, "Are you a perfectionist when it comes to sketching, or just go with the?" I just go with the flow. And then I'll take that sketch and go to another level. I don't refine sketches. I find that when I'm sketching, I'm trying to get like the gestural down. Frank Quietly. Yeah, Frank's version's dope. A lot of people love it. I was big a fan. I like Tim Sale stuff. But Quitley's a great artist, dude. Like I like his new X-Men work a lot. puffy jackets. Those were great. But I like Jim Lee's version of Superman. Look, it's a very good illustration, but it you know, I think for me, I told you it's like the Image version of the Dark Knight, and I think the Dark Knight version, whatever juice Miller had at that time, it just leaped off the page, and Jim Lee's Superman doesn't feel like he could get up and fly. It's just like a solid block of granite. Works great for Batman, but for Superman I like a little bit more, like he can get up and move away. That's why I'm not the biggest fan of this. This is more of a Wildstorm sort of thing where he's like a block of muscle, but I don't think that character is going to get up and fly anywhere, you know? I've just changed my philosophy mentally, character design, since I've done all this stuff, you know? It's a very good illustration. You know, you could put Jim Lee Superman on his t-shirt. It will sell. I like Mike Turner's Superman better, though. Yeah. Mike Turner's Superman will be up there for certain. Even though that is a block of muscle and that contradicts everything I just said, and Mike Turner's anatomy, I like it. Mario says the exception that proves the rule. Yeah. Many people try to imitate Mike Turner, but no one can pull it off. He was definitely drawing from his true inner self. Irreplaceable. As much as Miglia is an influence on me, I could never pull off Miglia. Yeah, Mike Turner was the movie. I only feel now I'm starting to show like my true like artistic self, so better stay healthy. You know, I wish I had hit this 20 years ago, but here we are. It took all of these to get there, folks. It took all of this stuff, you know. Still haven't nailed the watercolor, I feel. I will figure it out. The fact that I'm watching it now and I got my distress paints out and I did like a little test scud. I didn't like it, but I did a little test scud a couple weeks ago. Should have left those hands white. Should not have colored that in like that. That was a bad idea, Rob. Bad idea, Rob. Not good. Mara says, you too can be an amazing artist. Just need like 11 more years to get it. Right when I hit. Well, no one's retiring now, right? So now that the billionaires own all of our governments, nobody anywhere in the world gets to retire. Yay us. Yay the future. Also, I think now, every time I draw Superman, I'll have him smile. I think Superman should be smiling. My personal philosophy. This is going to be a short one, folks. And then once this is done, I'm going to head out. I got to go clean up the kitchen. But I'm going to be streaming all day tomorrow. Lost a little bit of time today helping my wife out with some stuff. She can't do a lot because of her surgery, so. Some days it cuts into productivity. Well, what am I supposed to say, no? I try to get out of it. Sometimes I'm like, but today, she's like, really? I'm like, you're right. Not gonna go well. I appreciate it, Dina. Because I don't know if the Saucy stuff works well for characters who are just human and have like a cape and stuff. Like they work great for monsters. Batman characters are great because they're monsters. Darkstalkers, monsters. But humans in clothes, I just feel like it. I don't know. Dina says she hopes she recovers quickly for health reasons, not because I want to hang out in your stream. Yeah. I mean, Wolverine, you know, it worked. I don't know, you know. I don't have good answers for it. Mars says, I'm not the only one that imagined a different kind of Superman piece when Rob said Saucy, right? I only did one Superman Saucy ever. This is it. So, I don't know what that would be. Oh, I get it. You meant saucy because of, like, lewdness. I see. I got you, buddy. Yeah, because you're a pervert. But I've been calling this watercolor style Saucy since 2012, so. This watercolor drip thing is like my version of the Jim Lee cross hatching. You know what I mean? This is like me trying to do that with color, essentially. Without directly doing that. But it doesn't work with like characters flying around. That's like they have to basically just be standing there. So, I don't know. I will work something out. I always do. I like the way the distress ink looks on craft mixed media paper. So I definitely want to give that a shot. And now that I have the printer that prints waterproof ink, I'm definitely going to be trying that out more. Would I draw a Power Rangers TMNT mashup? I'm going to be honest, Dino. I'm proud of the designs I came up with the Power Rangers. But I don't like drawing Power Rangers. Like that was like my little brother's thing, you know, and I'm afraid I'll get really good at it, and that's all people will want me to do, and I don't enjoy doing it. So. And I have thoughts. I mean, I know how I would do all the villains, and they'd definitely be cartoony monsters and stuff, but like, just afraid I'll get really good at something I don't enjoy. I wish I did. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about that. But it's like I got friends who are like, I just could never get into Spawn. I'm like, I get it. You know? I get it. You know? Not taking away my enjoyment. But I understand. Now, if they wanted to pay me to design those characters for animation or, you know, to give them a new look, I'd be happy to take the money, you know, but they won't. Like the designs I did, man, I was like, these would never get approved. Never get approved, you know. I already know. I worked with enough licensors to know I broke every rule. First, I gave them mouths, you know. So we're there. I think the best thing I did is something so minor. Most people didn't pick up on it. But if you look at my Megazord, the little like guns that pop out the back I made those white and pink, so the Pink Ranger's represented on the damn Megazord, because that would always piss me off. I'd watch that show. I'm like, how come when it turns into Megazord, the Pink Ranger's pterodactyl like ain't represented on that thing? So I made those pink with little white bits, and it works fine. Like, it works perfectly. Dino says my work is... Oh, thank you. Like, I'm very proud of those designs, but it's like... You know... I go on with this. I don't know. There is some, if I ever do more with the Power Rangers, what I will do is I did this sketch. It was like a 4-page, I did 4 8.5 by 11s, and I sort of drew out their origin and the fight with the Green Ranger and the White Ranger stuff. And I drew it like in this crazy comic book style. I don't even know what to call it because it's not like a comic book at all. It's actually a look I want to keep developing, and I used it when I was developing on Crash. There's a lot of stuff from that I still can't show, but I did a lot of stuff like that to show all these different game ideas. So like I might at some point take that to completion because I really like the way that looked. Mega Mario says sometimes the Megazord grows wings, doesn't happen often. That's the only time you rally. Yeah, it's bullshit. All of them should be represented on the robot when it's just standing there, period. It's a bad design choice. I don't agree with it. Even if those M's on the shoulders were pink, but it shouldn't be that. It should be those bits in the back. It works. Go look at the Megazord. It looks just fine. They're all represented. Just like Voltron has them all represented in Voltron's form. Like, I don't think this is a bad... You get this, like, at a convention. You know what I mean? You get this as a commission. This is a good commission. You know, I'm not going to be like, this is a bad commission. I just know for me, that is a Wildstormy sort of, you know, stiff pose. So, as much as I love all that stuff, I would push it further. I was just so afraid it was going to look like his crotch was bleeding because of all the red and the trips. I was like, oh, I got to be very careful with this. This could look like his anus is bleeding. I think that's it. Oh, I'm doing drips. I have to do them vertically for those drips to like... What I do is where the ink is sitting, I'll just take water and like drop it and it will just run off the page. You see I'm adding yellow there on those drips so it doesn't look like blood. You can kind of see like but I mean if you open up your sketchbook and a dude did that as a commission, I mean who's complaining? Right? So fair enough there. But yeah, I know there's something else to all this. Don't have that answer right now. What time is it? It is time. It is time. I'm just adding white highlights. So the final sketch of this you can see over on my DeviantArt if you want. And I'll run this video again tomorrow, probably, as we're up so late. I've also got some Darkness Copic piece I did several years ago. I thought that came out pretty well for a marker piece. I'm going to run that. And I got a Hulk Saucy and a Wolverine Saucy, Old Man Logan. I got a bunch of stuff. So I'll be back on tomorrow around 9 a.m. MDT my time. I'll be streaming all day. All right, great hangout as always. Thanks, Dino. Thanks, Dino. Thanks, Mario. Thanks all the lurkers and everyone hanging out. Remember, if you're on YouTube or Facebook, please leave a comment. That's how the algos share my channel. Engagement, engagement, engagement. Views actually don't do it. It's when people leave a comment. So if you just put it, you know, look at that. Oh, that Superman on the left. That was not good. So that was me taking a second shot at it. Yeah. So I really appreciate it. And thank you for saying my Megazord is awesome. I really appreciate that. I will see you all later. I'm going to go to sleep. The show is over. Thank you for hanging out.